Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Adventures of one obsessed nutrition coach on a mission to create a world where food makes us better. Happy Monday, everyone! I don't know how it is in your part of the world, but here in Russia, where I'm waiting out the coronavirus thing, today we are officially, all of us, starting a week of, well, most of the people look at it as a vacation week, only the vacation where you can't go anywhere, you gotta sit at home. So it's kind of like quarantine, but not really. It just people don't work. Nobody's supposed to go out a lot. All the gyms, all the restaurants, everything is closed. But we can still go out and do shopping. Shopping centers are open for some reason. We can go out outside, and it's kind of getting warmer here in Siberia where I am. So that's what's happening here. In my region, in the region of Siberia where I am, we have only 5 confirmed cases. Hopefully, in your place, it's also either getting better or at least not getting worse, right? Anyhow, stay strong, stay healthy, because the healthier you are, the stronger you are, the less you're gonna get sick. And if you do get sick, you're gonna recover faster and you'll be able to help people around you much, much better without overloading our healthcare system. So, now, now another thing, guys, a lot of you might be first time in your life experiencing this remote work lifestyle. In my life, my first education was computer programming. It didn't have anything to do with health, though I was supposed to be a computer programmer. Now, it helps me to figure out all the technology, to tweak my website when I need to. But anyhow, so that was my first education. And then I worked for a company for about 6 months, even less than that. Um, and after that, I never had to go to an office again. Maybe for meetings, like when I used to work with hotels, resorts, I would go to a place and I would work on different health and nutrition projects, detox programs. But having to go to work, that was never a real thing for me for more than like 15 years now, I think. And for me, managing my lifestyle, my routines, my exercise, when I wake up, my eating habits, that's my second nature because I've always been doing that. You do something for 15 years, you're gonna get good at that, or you're gonna get really, really sick if you mismanage it. So today I wanted to share with you my personal experience with this remote work lifestyle, and specifically when you don't go out a lot, when you're always by a fridge and your eating habits might be really out of balance. You might notice that you started eating more often, started to eat more, started to eat, snacks and foods that you normally don't really eat. But now that you are there by the fridge, by the kitchen. You might be even working from the kitchen. You find yourself eating too much, too often, not the stuff that you'd like to be eating, in your head at least. So, how to manage your eating habits when in this situation, basically being at home most of the time? How to eat better, how not to overeat, how to eat healthy to support your health, your energy levels, your immune system. Let me share with you 5 tools, 5 strategies that I've been using myself and sharing with all of my clients that work, guys. Try them and giving the time a few days to try them out. Believe me, guys, these things work. So number one, Schedule your meals and stick with that schedule. Remember when you were a kid and your mom would tell you, breakfast time, lunch time, dinner time, and maybe you were playing, you were doing something else, you were busy with your life, living your life, or being outside playing with other kids, and then it was the time to eat, and you would eat, and then you would continue doing what you do. So maybe it's time to remember the time when you were a kid and be your own mom for now, and maybe mom for your roommates, or maybe your spouses, your girlfriends, your boyfriends. So create some schedule, some eating schedule, and stick to it. Proven by psychologists and behavioral scientists, we work better. Our digestion, our hunger cues all work better for our health when we have schedule. Now, it doesn't have to be very specific time, but it just have to be specific for you. So try to stick with the same schedule. Our bodies like schedules. So sleep on schedule, eat on schedule, just like you would when you were a kid and your mom would tell you, lunchtime, dinner time. So that is number one. My personal example right now, I'm doing intermittent fasting, 18 hours at least, sometimes more, sometimes no less. It doesn't really happen. It's always more. From 12 p.m. to 6 p.m., that's my eating window. And I usually would have my main meal of the day, my biggest meal of the day between 12 and 3 p.m., depending whether, I have some online meetings. I try not to schedule anything at that time, but that's going to be my main meal of the day. And if I feel like I need something extra, usually around 5:30, I would have something else. It's usually a small thing, like maybe a kind of tuna and avocado, whether but for my lunch, for my main meal of the day, it's going to be a lot of vegetables. It's going to be probably seafood or liver, or a couple of more eggs, but a lot of vegetables, nuts and seeds like sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, either salad or Brussels sprouts, broccoli, like my favorite veggies. I'm trying also to include a lot of foods to boost my immune system that contain vitamin C, like bell pepper, or vitamin D, like herring, or zinc and copper, like oysters or mussels or crab meat or shrimp, maybe some beef that is high also in zinc. So that's my eating schedule. Number two, designate one area of where you live to your eating, and eat only at that place. Now, if you don't have the whole kitchen to yourself, maybe you work in the kitchen, so just separate the space. So for example, even if you use the same table to work and to eat on one side of the table and work on the other side of the table. Designate specific areas, specific time to just eating, not eating while checking emails, not eating, everywhere in the house, in front of TV, by your computer, in the kitchen, on the balcony. No, designate one area and time for your eating. And that will also help you to manage your hunger and your hungry brain, because your hunger, your appetite going to be connected to that specific area. Maybe put some napkins while eating, maybe do something specific only for that eating time. And again, designate one area. It doesn't have to be like the whole room, but one space where you only eat and eat only there. For me, it's my parents' kitchen right now. I'm staying with my parents. Yeah, it helps me to also take care of my parents of their eating habits through this COVID time, to educate them a little bit more. And plus, it just kind of nice to have people I love the most, I cherish the most around me right now, because it doesn't happen often. This COVID-19 time, it's a good time to reconnect with people you love, and understand that they make your life meaningful, people who love you unconditionally. So just, it might be sometimes a little bit annoying, but understand that this is one in a lifetime chance to spend more quality time with each other. And yes, it, again, sometimes it might be annoying. Sometimes it's annoying to be by yourself, leave alone other people. But yeah, cherish this time. So anyhow, one designated area for eating. Number three, guys, never bring home what you don't want to be eating. That saved me so many times, guys. I'm in such a great shape. Like, I know I am, physically with my eating habits. Why? Because one of the hacks that I started to practice long time ago, because I know myself, is I never bring home things that I tend to eat like a lot. For example, nut butters. If you give me a jar of nut butter, it doesn't have to have sugar or anything, like regular nut butter, whether that coconut or cashew or peanut. If you give me that jar, I'm gonna eat the whole freaking jar. So it's not even that unhealthy. In moderation, it's a great part of a healthy diet. I'm talking about all natural nut butters without sugars or all of the other stuff. Or if you lose control around, I don't know, nuts or some nuts, or if you lose control around um, I don't know, maybe you bring chips. Maybe those are vegetable chips, but if you eat like a lot of them all the time, and especially if they are roasted in some oil, at some point it might disrupt your healthier eating habits when you should be eating, more vegetables, more whole food protein, and etc. So don't bring home what you tend to overeat. If you feel like having something out of your ordinary meal schedule, if you feel like having a dessert or a treat, go to the store and buy it and eat outside, and that's it. Or at least, at the very least, bring home one single serving container of that you intend to eat the whole thing. Never have stashes of foods of snack foods, of I don't know, comfort foods that you tend to overeat. Like if you tend to eat the whole bag of cashews, even if it's like, a couple of pounds of cashews when you have it at home, then don't have it at home. As simple as that. Especially now when shopping becomes a little bit more complicated, just buy the things that work for you, long term and short term, that help you to control your eating habits better. Like again, for myself, I never bring nut butters home because if it's there, my brain knows it's there, and at some point I'm gonna eat it. And yeah, it's okay in moderation, but the problem is I can't moderate it, and I know myself enough to do such thing. So never bring home things that you don't want to be overeating. So that's number three. Number four, stick to whole foods. Guys, whole foods, they work for our brain, for our digestive system, for our hunger. So stick to whole foods. What are whole foods? It's not whole grain bread. When it comes to grains, whole grains is when you see rice. You can put it in your handful and you can see the grains of rice. It's not flour. Anything made into flour is not whole. The same goes with almond flour. It's not whole. Eat whole almonds. That's whole food. The same goes, for example, to fats. Stick to whole foods, meaning instead of eating avocado oil, maybe stick to avocados because it also has fiber. It occupies more space in your stomach and promotes proper feeling of hunger. So stick to whole foods. Instead of having some smoothie, eat your vegetables, eat your fruit, not green juices, whole foods. Now, here and there, you can entertain yourself with some unwhole food products, but it should be here and there, not your main meal. You shouldn't build your menu around not whole foods. And the reason why I say you shouldn't, because our digestive system was not designed for that. And you will feel hungry. You will control your eating habits less. It will be more difficult for you to control your weight and your appetite. Believe me, guys, our bodies are designed, and our brains and our digestive systems are designed for whole foods. The more you focus on whole foods, the better you're going to be short and long term. So, whole foods. And the last but not least, your veggies first. remember, like your mom used to tell me, you gotta finish your veggies, eat your veggies first, or no dessert, or nothing else. So veggies first, no playing games before veggies. So, as we talked before, a balanced meal, at least half by volume of that meal should be dark, leafy, or non-leafy, but non-starchy. Better stick to non-starchy for that rule. Half of your plate, half of your portion of food per meal should be green, colorful variety of non-starchy vegetables, like maybe your sauteed kale or Swiss chard or Brussels sprouts or cauliflower or mushrooms or bell peppers or um, carrots. So raw and cooked. Maybe it's salad today. Maybe it's the sauteed vegetables or grilled vegetables tomorrow. So most of your meal, half plate and more, should be your vegetables that you should eat first. And why I say should, because studies show that when we eat vegetables and protein first, even our blood sugar spikes less, if it spikes at all. And then we are less hungry by the time we finish all our vegetables, all our protein. You already have very little space and appetite for anything else. And that alone will also help you to manage your hunger and your weight and your eating habits. So eat slowly, eat your veggies first. That's another one. So for me, if I'm sitting, uh, if I'm sitting and I decide to eat and it's time to eat according to my schedule, of course, um, if I'm thinking to myself things like, oh, maybe I should skip my vegetables and just eat instead a can of, I don't know, a can of sardines, no vegetables today. So unless I'm doing some sort of elimination diet when I'm for some time I'm trying not to eat too much fiber because of something, I'm always doing something. Anyhow, unless I have specific rule and I have this thought, oh, maybe I should eat some nuts instead. No, I know that that's gonna make me overeat on stuff that creates unbalanced meal. So I might eat a whole pound of nuts instead, or like a whole bunch of fish because I have no fiber, no vegetables, nothing just fills me up. So I have this rule. Whenever I start thinking about food, I ask myself, am I hungry enough to eat my veggies first, my half of the plate of veggies first? Or am I just feeling appetite for some specific thing? So unless I'm hungry for those vegetables, I'm not eating, and my brain now knows that, and so I don't go and snack on stuff because veggies first. That's the rule that my brain knows. So to recap, 5 rules to help you manage your eating habits, just like I do. I've been doing again for a lifetime. So just sharing with you things that truly work to help you to manage your appetite, your hunger, your weight, and your also to bring more health into your digestive system and to help to stabilize your energy levels throughout the day. So, number one, schedule your meals just like your mom would. Breakfast time, lunchtime, dinner time, and don't eat outside those times. Number two, have a designated area for your meals and eat only there and only eat while eating. So again, even if you just have one table for work and for eating, divide that table into two parts and maybe take away, put away your computer and whatever you use for work while eating. So use one designated area for eating and eat only there. And I highly recommend to divide your working area from your eating area. Number three, never bring home foods that you don't want to be overeating. So don't have at home something that just you have no control over. Number four, stick to whole foods. The more you stick to whole foods, the easier it's going to be for you to manage your hunger and your weight. Number five, veggies first. Always ask yourself when you're about to eat, am I hungry enough to eat half of my plate full of veggies and then the protein and then the rest. And then if you are hungry enough, eat your veggies first, eat your proteins, eat your whole foods fat, and if you're hungry for something more, then only then think about, adding some snack or whatever that you shouldn't have at home in the first place. So those are 5 rules, guys. Let me know what you think. Use them, give them an honest try, and believe me, they will make your life so much easier. Your eating life, I mean. So that's it for today, guys. Sharing with you a lifetime of practice of my eating rules, living and doing my remote work for life. So let me know what you think. If you have any other cool and fun advice and tips that you'd like to share with other people, reach out via email or on any social media you can find me on. My email, angela@createyourself.today. So reach out, share your advice that I'm going to share with all the other listeners. And no matter where you work, whether remotely or not, as usual, guys, till next time, eat better daily.